Happy Hanukkah. Welcome, everybody. We're so glad that you're here. Now would be a great time, if you haven't done so already, to set up your Chanukiah, your menorah. Since it's the first night of Hanukkah, you want to have one candle on the far right and a shamash candle to light the other candle with. Also, if you'd like, we have a PDF for you to download. You can find it right there in the chat that has the blessings and some instructions. And lastly, if you're going to join one of our activities, one of our breakout rooms, please make sure you have whatever materials you're going to need for those breakout rooms. You can find it online. Again, the link will be in the chat. And make sure you have all those materials because we're going to start right away as soon as we finish lighting the menorah. While we're waiting for everyone else to come in, I want to share a brief Hanukkah message with you. A year or two ago, I was driving up to Keystone with my second daughter, Rachel, and we get out of the tunnel, and Rachel points out that my gas light is blinking. Not only is it blinking, I look down and it says I have 1 mile until empty. Unfortunately, we were much more than 1 mile to the closest gas station. Luckily, it was a lot of downhill, and with lots of grace from God, we managed to make it off the exit. And as soon as we got off that exit, I felt this huge burden, kind of release from my shoulders. And we pull into the gas station, and maybe 10 feet away from the gas pump, my car just stops. I run out of gas at literally the last possible moment. We push the car, we fill up, and we're on our way. Everything's great. It's a cool story. And unlike a lot of stories that rabbis tell, it's actually a true story. And it happened to me. But I don't make a festival or holiday around it. Can you imagine fast forwarding 50 years, 100 years, 1,000 years, all of my descendants gathering around and making a holiday over the fact that my gas tank that should have lasted for only 1 mile miraculously lasted for 8? No. Because even though it's a cool story, it's not that big of a deal. It wasn't such a big miracle. When you look at the Hanukkah story, there's really two miracles that stand out. Number one, the miracle of the battle. Here you had
tons of
what was that?
There were tons of Greeks against
riding elephants.
Yeah, we had Greeks who were the superpower of the time, riding elephants, which was the ancient tank. I just started watching this miniseries of the 6 Day War, and you look at these Syrian tanks. They had thousands of tanks, and here you had Israel had maybe a handful. And it's amazing to think about the Hanukkah story. They didn't even have one. Here the Greeks had tons of elephants, they had tons of tanks, they had millions of people. They had the largest army in the world at the time, the most powerful army, and the small band of Jews, which again, you look at Judah Maccabee and you think he's this big, strong superhero.
He's an old
But
man.
yeah, he's a rabbi. He was a scrawny rabbi. And the small group of Jews who said, you know what? Thank you. This small group of Jews who got together, the Hashmonaim, the Maccabees, and said, you know what? Forget about all of these rules that the Greeks said, that we're not allowed to study Torah and we're not allowed to practice the bris milah and Shabbat. Forget about all that. We are going to practice our Judaism the way we want to. And if we need to fight, we'll fight. And you know what they did? They fought.
Did.
And this small group of this band of brothers, this small group, took on the most powerful army and they won. What would have happened if that miracle didn't happen?
We would not be here right now.
Ozzy's right. We would not be here right now. 100% of the Jewish people would have either been decimated or assimilated. There'd be nobody left. What's the second miracle? What's the second miracle? Why is Hanukkah 8 days? That's right. They went into the temple to rededicate it after finally fighting for so long. They were able to get back into the temple, and they went to light the menorah, but they couldn't find any pure oil that had the seal of the high priest. There was plenty of other oil. They could have lit the menorah with that oil too, but they couldn't find the oil that had the seal of the high priest. And they searched high and low, and you know what happened? They found just one tiny flask, and they put that flask of oil in. They lit it. They expected it to go out after one day, but miraculously, It lasted for 8 days. And that's why we have Hanukkah for 8 nights. When you look at the two miracles, you had one that was necessary, one that led to the survival of the Jewish people, and the other was nice. It was cool, but it wasn't necessary. And honestly, it wasn't that great of a miracle. So why do we focus on the light? Why do we focus on lighting the menorah? And I think the answer goes to the core of what the Greek battle was all about. You see, the Greeks, unlike many of our other enemies, did not want to destroy the Jewish people. They only wanted to destroy Judaism. And the way we fight those Greeks is with light. They wanted to extinguish the light of Judaism, and we fight and we show that we've succeeded by allowing that light to continue. Where are the ancient Greeks today? They're gone. And yet we are here, and our light is strong. Our light is stronger than ever. And the fact that we are about to light the menorah is the ultimate victory over the Greeks. We fight with light. Every time we do a mitzvah, every time we ensure that our children will have a stronger Jewish identity than we had, we are fighting with light. You guys ready to light the menorah?
Yep.
Okay, let's do it.